G'day guys, Solid here. Hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the garage. I thought I'd do a Q&A this week. The questions have been piling up and I just wanted to sit in the garage and see what's going on in the comment section and have a bit of a back and forth. So let's just get straight into the questions. So the first comment is actually an email I got and it's from Tyler. He's saying, "Hey Solid, love your channel." Cheers, mate. So Tyler is saying, "I bought a 300L and I'm making my own slowly. Congratulations, mate." I'll throw a picture up. He sent me through a pic of his 300L. "I do some commuting and longer rides on it besides trail riding. I've been waiting for a larger third-party tank to be produced and I saw IMS had open pre-orders and I was quite excited." Yeah, I was quite excited for this IMS tank release as well. But then Tyler says, "I looked at the specs and it's only 0.4 gallons larger than the stock and costs $392 US. So Tyler's saying, "I was shocked that it costs that much and you only get a little bit of capacity. Is this the best we can expect or do you know of any other products that are better? Guess I'll just keep using my rotor packs for now." Yeah, I think this is our only option for the short term. I'm not sure how long it'll be. I've emailed Safari. They don't seem to be too interested, but then again, I'm just a small little channel. I think this is what we have at least for the short to medium term. What I will say is that I did reply to IMS saying that I was hoping for a little bit bigger of a capacity tank than what they released. And they did say that if this tank is very popular, they may consider making a larger one, similar to what happened with the WR250R. If you remember, that had a smaller tank. I think it was about 11 or 12 liters, but they also released that fantastic 18 liter or 4.5 gallons thereabouts on the WR, which I had and absolutely loved because that was bang on the perfect range for doing big multi-day adventures in the outbacks. There is the slim possibility that they could do this, but this is a lot of if, buts and maybes. I have no insider knowledge. All I can do is cross my fingers, hope that these tank companies notice how popular this bike is and get off their hands and make a really good large capacity tank for this bike. So the next comment is from a name I'm gonna butcher, so I'm apologizing in advance, mate. Please let me know how to pronounce it properly. It's either Jai or Jay. He's saying, "Howdy, Chronicles are Solid. How you doing, mate? Wondering why the BMW 310GS wasn't on your list." This was to the video where I was saying what bikes I was comparing the 300L to when I was making the purchase of the bike. The reason the 310GS wasn't on the list is it's just not off-road capable enough for my personal needs. It's more of an adventure bike than a dual sport, so I wanted something super light, very durable, and it could really do some of the more difficult stuff off-road. The 310GS is just more of a road bike and an adventure bike rather than a proper dual sport made for off-road riding. Nothing against the little GS. I've ridden one. I really actually quite liked it. If you're doing commuting and adventure riding and you're not really serious into the single track kind of side of off-road riding, they can be a great little bike. But for my personal needs, it just really wasn't a good fit. The next comment is from Rich and he's saying, "Really enjoy your practical advice over a number of dual sport bike videos. Keep up the good work. Hope your health continues to improve. I've shared a couple of your videos to a mate embarking on a KTM 500 for adventure and dual sport riding." Thanks for the kind words, mate. That is really nice of you to say. I'm glad I could help you out. And the 500 EXE is a lightweight adventure bike. It is fantastic from what I hear. It's definitely something that's always in the back of my mind for future when my skills improve. So I hope your mate enjoys his 500 EXE. Stay shiny side up. The next question is from Adversity. You just keep popping up, mate. You've got good questions. So Adversity is saying, "Always good content on adventure bikes and interesting perspective. Cheers, mate. I try and keep it a little left field of what other people are putting out. I know there's plenty of experts on YouTube with great content, but this can quickly amount to information overload for us mere mortals." Yeah, exactly. That's why I made my channel, just because really expert advice is fantastic, but sometimes it really doesn't relate to me as a rider. So that's why I kind of just started making videos to kind of appeal to us mere mortals, as you put it. So if I may ask, how do you improve your riding off-road? What tips and tricks have you improved your riding the most? What level of proficiency are you aiming for and how far are you ready to push the envelope to learn new tricks? I'm not going to pretend that I've got any plan or schedule to get out there and improve on skills. Unfortunately, at this point in my life, with me still trying to get my health back to 100% and being super busy in other aspects of my life, just getting out off-road is a challenge at the moment. So my focus is on just making sure I have enough time to get out there and enjoy the trails, because that's really important for me. I just feel like it's a real detox from the city. I decompress and I really reset when I'm out there. So I think my number one priority priority rather than skills is just making sure I plan to have enough time in my life to get out and do the thing that I enjoy. The single biggest aha moment I had for my off-road riding skill set, and I still use it to this day and I regularly have to keep it as a mantra, is to look ahead. Don't get caught up exactly on what's immediately in front of you, because you'll overwhelm your brain. At least for me, I kind of overwhelm myself and stress myself out, and that takes me off my game and usually means I don't accomplish the obstacle as well as I wanted to, or at all. So that look ahead has really helped me, especially in deep sand, really technical single track, just keeping your eyes ahead and not getting too fixated in the immediate surroundings and getting overwhelmed by the appearance of the difficulty. You'll be surprised how much you can get through if you just look ahead, believe in yourself, have that confidence and give it a go. As far as how far should you push the envelope in order to gain new skills, that's a really difficult one to answer. I'm only going to answer for myself. In my 20s, I would have pushed very hard indeed, and I paid for that with lots of injuries on my body. Now I'm a little more conservative. I still do believe that if you don't challenge yourself, you really aren't moving forward and improving, but you've got to find your own limits. Nowadays, it's a lot tamer for me. I do enjoy still having difficult and technical riding and challenging myself. I'm not just riding for myself anymore, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm at life at the moment. I'm not going to give you any metric as to how far you need to push to learn new skills. That's up to the individual rider, I think. The next comment is from B Motomo, and he's saying the sad thing about these comparisons is all the viewers who don't understand how uninformed he is, speaking about myself, and that he keeps coming back with the same less than accurate information. He does a great job with the videos for sure. However, he needs to slow his expert stick and start asking more questions when he doesn't really know something. Listening to him make stuff up or just repeat what other uninformed YouTubers say is exhausting. Sorry, Solid, motorcycles are important to me. No need to apologize, mate. You're more than welcome to your opinion. Unfortunately, sometimes I do get things wrong, like the last video where I said Eric Buell is still part of Buell Motorcycles. That is actually incorrect. Somehow that had slipped past my radar. That's just something that happens. I do try and correct myself. I'll either pin it down in the comment section or do what I'm doing now and address it in the following video. As far as coming across as an expert, I'm actually quite surprised you've had that experience. My whole channel is based on just being an average Joe. I'm just really passionate about motorcycles, and I try and give my information from my own opinion. I'm not telling people how to do anything. I'm just giving my experiences and my rationale. Yes, I'm confident in the reasons I've decided on a particular bike or haven't decided on a particular bike, but that confidence doesn't necessarily mean expertise. I've never come across as an expert, and you should never take me on as an expert. You should always take multiple data sets and collect it and try and see how it relates to you. The next comment is from Raf's ADV, and he's saying, hi, I just paid the deposit on the 22 CRF300L, which is due in September, October. Well, congratulations, mate. I bet you that's fairly exciting. I also have a 22 T700. The one I test rode, I certainly didn't want to give back. You can see it on BikerBits YouTube channel, so shout out to Mark and BikerBits. It's a fantastic channel. He's experienced that his Speedo is reading exactly 10 kilometers an hour higher, I'm assuming on the T700. Is the 300 Speedo accurate, as my missus will be riding the 300 and she is on P plate, so an accurate Speedo is important. PS, the rally is now 10,300 on road. Wow, that's jumped up. It was well under 10,000 when I bought my 300Ls. Just shows you how quickly prices are going up. As to the Speedo being accurate, again, not an expert, but here's my experience. With the stock tires, the Speedo was fairly accurate. I think it was in about 4 kilometers of my GPS indicated speed. Now that I've put on MT21s, that's gone out to about 10 kilometers per hour. And I have noticed that that speed differential is different at different speeds as well. So as far as accuracy at stock, I'd say it's not exactly perfectly accurate. It's never going to be as accurate as a GPS. So maybe that's something to think about. Get a phone with an app on it or mount your GPS and show the true speed. But it is reasonably accurate with the stock tires on it from my experience. The next comment is from Kevin, and he's saying, I love my WR250R. Why did you get rid of yours? Fantastic motorcycle. My first dual sport. Absolutely love the things. So why did I get rid of it? Well, I had some really serious health problems in 2017, to the point where I didn't even think I was going to be able to ride a motorcycle again, let alone off-road. Still in the process of recovering. And during that period, it really didn't make sense to hold on to a motorcycle that was just sitting in the garage for 3 years that I was almost never riding. I was just paying money for insurance and road registration. It just didn't make sense. And two, it really was quite hard to walk out into the garage and look at that bike and know I couldn't ride it the way it deserved. And on top of all that, when it did come time for me to get back out in the dirt, I wanted a new journey, just make some new memories and start fresh. So that's why I moved on from the WR250R. It wasn't really any fault of the bikes. I think they're fantastic. Probably the best 250 dual sport ever made in my personal opinion, but I'm heavily biased because I had one for 5 years. So the next question is from Mark, and he's saying, "Hey Solid, how you doing, mate? Can you speak to the height of the bike?" Talking about the 300L. "I'm 5'8" and have an inseam of 30 inches. I worry it will be too tall. I've not ridden in many years and would like to get back into it. My age is 67 and a bit afraid that the bike might be too much for me. Any comments on lowering the bike? Thanks. Love your vids, Mark." Well, cheers, mate. It's really hard for me to give advice on shorter riders with suspension, as it's really not something I've personally experienced. So I would like to put it out there for any riders that are kind of that height and do have a 300L. Could you please post down in the comment section for Mark your experience and the ways you've addressed those concerns. What I would encourage you to do is go to a dealer, get a leg over, mate, and see whether in stock form it is too tall for you. And if that still doesn't work, look into a couple of other things that you can do. One is get a lower seat from an aftermarket manufacturer, check if that's available, but also speak to your dealer about fitting a lowering link. You can fit that and it brings the height of the motorcycle down some as well, and maybe speak to them about some other possibilities as well. That really is great to see at 67 you're getting back in the saddle. It really can take a lot sometimes to get back in the saddle after a long break. So welcome aboard, mate. Get out there in the dirt, and thanks for the comment. The last comment is from a couple of guys. One is Simon of Oz and the other one is Papa Moose. That is a great name, mate. And they're talking about the tool video I did, and they pointed out something really important that I forgot to put in, and it was a real shame that I forgot to put it in there. The tools that you pack on your motorcycle for when you're going for a ride or a camp. When you're in the garage at home, use those to service your bike just to make sure that everything works well and you can function and do everything you want on your motorcycle with those tools that you pack. It's a really good tip from those two guys, and one I really should have pointed out myself, but just clean forgot. If you got comments for a future video, chuck them down below. And until next time, guys, don't forget to stay shiny side up, and I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.